Hi Kaelyn, so this is my Dwarf Fortress tutorial for you. Right now you should see the Choose Fortress Location screen. I have selected a area, the Swamp of Prophecy. If you look to the far left, over here you can see that we've got a river, so that means we always have fresh water, which is important, and moving water. A lot can be done with that. And then if you look over here on the far right, you can see that temperate temperature, which doesn't super matter because I have temperature turned off. Trees are super important. And then you'll see we have sand, some soil, shallow metal, and deep metal. So hopefully this is a good starting location. I didn't really pre-test this, but we're going to hit E for embark, and I'm just going to hit play now because I figure it'll be fine. Okay, so you should be familiar with this screen. So first thing you do, pause, get a look around. I'm using the arrow keys to look around. And I'm also going to, so it looks like we have landed in a perfect spot to start off this situation. So generally what I like to do first is to get some dwarves digging so they can have a place to live. So D for designation, then D again for mining. Then we're going to want to go down to this sea level right here. So here you'll see that it's a hill. So this down here is above ground, but this down here is underground. So it's a really good location because there's no having to deal with digging out anything. So we'll start with that, and then that's a hallway, and then this first room will be a big storeroom. And I've changed my mind about how I want this, so I'm hitting X to remove designation. I'm selecting that, so now it really is a room, and not just an oddly shaped shape. So now that we have that designated, there's a couple other things we want to do right away while we're on the screen. So we're going to hit P for gather plants. And as you can kind of see, there's some plants around here, so I'm just going to go ahead and, just like I did with the mining, I'm creating a selection box. You can see down here it's a selection. And so it's going to go from here, the blinking green square, to the yellow X. Hit enter and see how a bunch of these tiles just changed. Those are now locations where the dwarves will gather plants. And then finally, while we're here, one last thing is to hit T for chop down trees. And so you can do this one of two ways. Either you can select, much like you did with the mining or the gathering plants, but I kind of like using the auto chop dashboard. So hit C, and then designate now. And this should just have them go chop down all the trees. Didn't give me a lot of options there, so what we're also going to do is, just for example, see, I'm like, fuck these trees in particular. We already have people out here gathering plants in this area. So now they'll collect all those trees that just grayed out. So that's all you need under D for this exact moment. And then what you'll want to do next is hit I for zones. And then you're going to create just a zone in any sort of grassy area. And you're going to want to make it, decently large. This is a personal preference thing. And then I always set this to T for animal training and N for pasture, and then set pasture information, and then Shift G for non-grazing, that gets rid of all the cats and dogs. And then we're going to put our 2 animals that need to graze over here. And so that will keep them out of our way. Now, so the game is still paused. We are going to hit resume and let them start working, but actually let's build one thing first, farm plot. So I'll do it right here. So I'm going to increase the height using U, and then I'm going to increase the width using K. I'm going to try and find a spot where there's as little interruption as possible. It doesn't matter, these are really easy to put down, replace if something goes wrong. Okay. I'm happy with this. To replace, and so now they should go build that. And I'm gonna unpause now and they are going to get to work. So if we go down, you'll see we already have a dwarf starting to carve stuff out. And once he carves a good portion of it out, we're going to create a stockpile down there. It seems that the dwarves have already set up our farm plants. You can see that we have no seeds. So, okay. We go back down into here. He's still working, so we're gonna wait a few minutes once he starts getting stuff finished mining. We're gonna start by placing all the stuff we need. So for now, we're just letting them work. Someone tried to go catch fish because we do want them to actually catch fish. We can make another zone, specify where we want them to catch fish. So here you'll see fishing's at roughly 29, so it should be a pretty decent area to fish. I can also say this is our water source. Then we can head back up. He's making some good progress. Let's go up a little bit more. It looks like we have plenty of trees that have been cut down and plenty of plants that are being gathered. So I'm quite happy with the progress right now. One additional factor, there's a dead bird, is Z, and you can see your food stores down here. So seeds, drink. Oh, we do have seeds now. Fish, meat, plants, and then just straight from this page, hit enter to look at your animals. What I like to do is just starting out, make those available for being pets, and then I'm going to train both of these dogs for hunting. And so when any dwarf does want to do that, they should go to the pasture area that we set earlier. And so we've gotten some good progress down here, so we're going to start building some important things. So B for build, W for workshops. Let's start out with a L still. Put that in the corner. Gonna let him keep working for another minute to clear out some more space for our next thing. So as you can see, we have 4 people not doing anything. So a great trick you can do is open up Dwarf Therapist and make sure the labors you need people to do are enabled. So you want them to go gather plants, be a herbalist, do some farming, do mining. You can go through there and enable labors, but that's kind of outside the scope of this super simple starting thing. So while we're down here, since we do have seeds, I have a sinking suspicion I know what they are. They're indoor seeds, so farm plot. Let's just make a classic 5x5, put it right here. So in a minute, a dwarf will come down and deal with that building. Let's put down some more workshops. Let's do a kitchen. Since we do have a fisher dwarf, fish spoils very quickly, so we do want to already have somewhere set up where they can handle that. And I'm going to let him clear a little more space out, just this corner, and then we're going to put a stockpile down. So P for stockpile, and I'm going to do custom stockpile. So this is, for now, since we don't have a lot of space, this is going to be very general. So I will have food. I will have furniture. Stone, ammo, coins, bars, gems, finished goods, leather, cloth, wood, weapons, armor, cheats. And then I'm going to designate it down here, and I'm just gonna make it approximately that big. And now you'll see we should have some dwarves start to carry stuff down in there. Another thing to do here is go to the wagon, and then to encourage them to remove stuff from the wagon, remove it as a building. So this farm plot is set up, and you'll see that we have all 4 of these. So we're gonna select the one we want, which is pump helmets, because they make alcohol. I'm gonna go ahead, hit enter on that, and that'll start up. Say prepare an easy meal. Then we should also build a carpenter's shop. And for now, that should do it for this opening. Actually, let's do a fisher as well, since we do have a fisher out there looking for fish. So in a few minutes, someone should come down and start planting those plump helmets. And if we go here, you'll see that we do have the right plants to brew drinks. We don't have empty food storage. So as soon as this carpenter shop is done, we're gonna have them make some barrels for us. That should do that for now. Let's double check on what our food situation looks like. We're still doing okay. Seems that we're starting to process things into other food. So everything is going smoothly, and it looks to me like we've got a pretty decent start to our fortress. In order to speed up the process here, we're actually going to build a farmer's workshop. And this should allow us to start processing plants, and also it will be good for getting milk and making cheese. So if you go down here, you can kind of tell, but seeds have been planted in those areas, so we're already farming. Okay, so brew drink from plant. Hit repeat, so they'll just keep doing that. And it's the start of our food empire. So you'll see lots of stuff down here that should eventually all be hauled down. And as you've seen, our drink has gone up, so congratulations. Things are going well. This is our fishery. Yes, they are preparing raw fish. Fisheries are good because they're pretty easy. The dwarves basically run them themselves. So dwarves are going around, gathering plants, gathering wood. Everything seems to be in order at the moment. No one has built our farmer's workshop yet, though, so let's wait around for that. Oh, it looks like someone's working on it now, hopefully. Maybe? We do have a little kitty cat running around too, which I love. I love how they follow dwarves. As you can see, this dwarf is going from the stockpile or outside to get plants. Oh, see, he's just ran out of plants. And then getting a barrel. I hate you to look at all my friends. Okay. So while we're waiting for more food to come our way, let's de-designate and start mining out bedrooms. I'm going to start off in this direction. So this will serve as our dormitory for the time being. So I'm also going to add new tasks. I'm going to have them make 7 beds. Another thing to do to create a trash pile somewhere. So that's another I for zone. I'm going to stick it over here. So it's close, but like not bothering anyone. I'm going to put it D garbage dump. And then I'm also going to P stockpile. Select roughly the same area as I did for garbage dump. Hit Y for corpses. And it will also be a corpse pile. Okay, as you can see, we have some seeds now. The seeds were made by sending the dwarves out to gather plants, the plants then being brewed, and the brewed plants produce seeds. And so now we can plant those seeds. Also, if you're worried about your dwarves not gathering enough seeds, it's very simple to go through and just designate P gather plants, go to a different area, and have them gather some more plants. So that's basically how farming works. See, we only had one of those seeds, so that's a good reason to keep your eye on it, especially this early, is you're not going to have that many seeds. So you're going to want to multi-plant your plot. So that's my very brief introduction. Still waiting on that. I think we will just let it keep going for a little bit. See, we already have one very sleepy dwarf. So we're going to tell them to put some beds there. Now we're going to make it a bedroom a little larger. And then it will be D for dormitory. Now any dwarf that wants to sleep can very easily go to that area, and then as our carpenter makes more beds, we can just continue to place them down. And that is my very beginner's guide to Dwarf Fortress. If you're wondering what to do next, keep having them plant plants. Keep building up material. You're going to want to build BW a craft dwarf's workshop, a mason's workshop, jeweler's workshop. You're going to want to start digging down to get to stone and metal, because you're going to eventually probably end up trading with elves, and elves will not buy anything made of wood and will in fact get very mad at you if you try and sell them stuff made of wood. And then also, for very easy, simple things to make all your dwarves happier, build some tables and chairs. And then make a dining room. It can be in the same area as the dormitory, that's fine. It will allow your dwarves a place to eat, which makes them happy. And also, once you make the craft dwarf workshop, it will provide them place to drink. In the craft dwarf workshop, the first thing you should do is make just a shit ton of cups. And that is your brief introduction. Let's look at our food stores. Seem to be doing pretty okay. Brief introduction to Dwarf Fortress.